Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. In today's video, we're going to discuss which fruits would really be the best matches for those in Luffy's crew that don't have devil fruits. And this could be either with current members, or who knows, with even future members, even if they're not current users of that fruit. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel, or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like, and even subscribe, and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or another one of your favorites with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. We come to the Pika Pika no Mi, otherwise known as the Light Light or Glint Glint fruit. Now its user is Borsalino, the Admiral Kizaru, and with this fruit, he becomes able to coat his body completely with light, and even is able to move at the speed of light itself. But one drawback, even though the speed of light is incredibly high, the user can only move in a straight line and attack through light paths that they draw. But even so, the user is still able to use light in their attacks. With this power, the user can shoot light projectiles, bolts, and even create weapons like swords, enabling them to face opponents who use swords or other weapons. And just like the other Logia fruits, the Fruit of Light has an intangibility, where only the users of Haki or an element opposite of the fruit can physically hit the user. Our next Logia is the Gorogoro no Mi, also known as the Lightning Fruit. Now this fruit is currently used by the false god Enel, and through this fruit, its bearer can use the lightning element in any way they wish, and even throw powerful lightning bolts at their enemies or to defend themselves from attacks. Due to the nature and energy type of lightning, this fruit also allows the user to amplify their observation Haki, making the user feel the presence of living beings at quite a long distance from their current position. As with all Logia, the bearer of this fruit also has the classic intangibility, but it can be nullified through Haki or even an insulator like rubber. Uo Uo no Mi model Seryu. This is one of the most powerful fruits in the work of One Piece, and the Uo Uo no Mi was eaten by Kaido, who gains the ability to transform into a mythological dragon that possesses unusual and uncanny strength. The user of this fruit can transform into a large dragon with immense destructive power, and because it's a mythical Zoan, its bearer gains an increase in strength, speed, and durability in its hybrid form. Moving on to another fruit, we come to the Suke Suke no Mi, or the Fruit of Invisibility. At first, this was into the possession of Absalom, but after he lost his life, the fruit passed on to Shiryu of the Rain. This devil fruit gives the user the ability to become invisible to anyone. The power further extends to the owner's belongings, such as swords, weapons, or even clothes, making it possible for a swordsman to remain invisible while striking their opponents without being detected. Next, we come to the Giro Giro no Mi, or Fruit of the Vision. With this fruit that is currently owned by Viola of the Dressrosa Kingdom, she can have clairvoyance and is capable of seeing through literally and figuratively everything over any distance she wishes. The fruit gives her the ability to not only see in people's minds, but also create constructs out of thoughts that can be used in an offensive manner. Next, we have the Memo Memo no Mi, or Memory Fruit. The user of this fruit is Charlotte Pudding, who possesses the powers of memory, being able to access all the memories of anyone she can put her hands on, where she can remove memories that she wants from her victim, or just cut out the parts that she doesn't want them to remember. Something that is very powerful, but we also wonder how permanent the effects are, because it seemed that even after removing part of Sanji's memory, he seemed to still have a sense that something had transpired between the two of them. Moving on to a very useful fruit, we come to the Chio Chio no Mi, or the Fruit of Healing. The owner of this fruit is Manshuri, the queen of the Tuntara tribe, and with this fruit, she can heal any wound in a matter of seconds. Although, the greater the wound she heals, the more energy it takes from her own body. Next, we have the Matomato no Mi, or Target Fruit. The user of this fruit is Vanderdecken, who, by touching someone, can mark that person as a target. And no matter how far away he is, he can always accurately hit the target that is in his sights. This fruit was used to ransom Shirahoshi, trying to blackmail her into marrying him. Our next fruit is owned by a commander in Blackbeard's crew, and that is the Wapu Wapu no Mi, or Teleportation Fruit. This was eaten by Van Augur, and with it, he can teleport both himself and other people to other places, giving him incredible mobility and making it impossible to be caught by any attack. The Mani Mani no Mi, otherwise known as the Fruit of Cloning. Now at first, this fruit was owned by Kurozomi Higurashi, but after she lost her life, it somehow passed to Bon Clay, Mr. 2, a former member of the organization known as Baroque Works. This fruit grants the user the ability to transform into to anyone they've ever seen, and the cloning is so perfect that it even copies the voice of the person being copied. The next paramecia on our list is the Choki no Mi, or cut fruit. Its user is the revolutionary Inazuma, who gains the power to transform his arms and legs into scissors, being able to cut and shape structures in any way he wants, as if his opponents were made of simply paper. And this fruit we're talking about is the Kira no Mi, or diamond fruit. This fruit is used by Diamond Jozu, one of the commanders of the Whitebeard pirates, and with it he becomes able to coat his entire body in diamond hard enough to withstand the most severe attacks, becoming an impregnable shield against nearly any foe. Next we have the Zushi no Mi, the fruit of gravity. This fruit is used by Admiral Fujitora, and he can control gravity as he sees fit, oppressing his opponents with heavy gravity, sending his enemies flying into the sky, or even summoning giant meteors onto the spot to cause a huge explosion. Our next fruit is the Buki no Mi, or fruit of weapons. This is currently in the possession of Baby 5, who can turn any part of her body into a weapon, be it a cannon, machine gun, pistol, or even a bazooka. This fruit gives a very versatile range for the owner in combat. Shin no Mi, or the fruit of the forest. Now this is a rather new Logia fruit that we were introduced to in Wano, and it's used by Admiral Ryokugyu, and it gives this marine the ability to transform his body and the entire environment around him into a forest, which can eventually attack enemies through his trees and vines that he creates. The user can also use roots to be able to absorb nutrients from his opponent's bodies and add those nutrients to their own, allowing the user to not need to feed themselves directly. The intangibility that this Logia provides is quite a bit different than all the others, in that the user can be physically hit, but they can regenerate like a plant, as long as the attack is not imbued with haki. Another fruit is the Guro no Mi, or propeller fruit. Buffalo is the one that holds this power, and by activating his abilities, he can create propellers all over his body, enabling him to fly in any way he wishes. But when one considers flight being a rather limited ability in the world of One Piece, although it may seem underpowered, the mobility it grants is quite good. Our next fruit is the Meru no Mi, or the fruit of love. Now the current user of this fruit is Boa Hancock, who can petrify anyone by means of her attacks or physical touches. The only thing necessary is that they find her attractive and is charmed by her beauty. Recently, Blackbeard showed up on Amazon Lily in order to try and steal this fruit from Hancock. But what was brought up is that this fruit may be ineffective for people who are considered ugly or lack the ability to charm others with their beauty. So it seems that only Boa Hancock is able to make the most effective use of this fruit. Next, the Magu no Mi, or the Magma fruit. This fruit is used by Admiral Akainu, and the fruit gives Sakazuki the ability to transform his body into magma. And it also has the power to shoot large amounts of lava at his opponents. The heat emitted by this element is so great that the user can even pierce someone's body with a single magma-covered punch, making it one of the most offensive powered fruits in the world. And its user not only possesses intangibility, but those who don't use haki and physically hit the user have their hand or body part touch burned, making it impossible for users without haki to ever face the owner of the Magu no Mi. And finishing up, we have the Supu no Mi, or fruit of the blade. This is used by Daz Bones, or Mr. One, and it grants the user the ability to completely transform their body into steel and create blades from their arms, turning their body into something much stronger. And it also allows them to use their body parts as a sword, making it nearly impossible for weak pirates to hurt him because his body is fully made of solid steel. So as we bring our video to a close, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching the video, especially those of you who've hung out all the way here to the very end. Be sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like and hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.